Hello, hello, everybody. Let me change this music up. Hey, how you doing today? Let's change it up, bring it down a little bit. All right, here we go. Here we go. Well, some of you all know that I usually come on the last Sunday of every month and we have brunch with Margo Lovett and Friends. Well, Deb is on the road, and many of you know I'm getting ready for a celebration next week. It is International Podcast Day, which is on Friday. But you know me, I'm starting on Tuesday. So that's what this is all about. But first of all, we're going to move into just some of the fine details of that celebration. But right now, I want to bring to your attention, and let's think together, please. Let's think together about Arthur Ashe, Serena, Roger Federer. And then as I was thinking about this a couple of days ago, I thought, wow, as we think about these athletic greats, we can also think about Pharaoh Sanders, the great Pharaoh Sanders. We recently had to say goodbye to him. He departed. Carmen Lundy, my all-time favorite, and even Dave Koz. These are entertainers. These are all folks that we know, we recognize their music. I could go on and on and on. So what do the athletes and what do the entertainers that are on the list, what do they have to do with us as people? My thought on this is that when I see them, I see a couple of things. I see people who took action. They took action. They picked up an instrument. They went to vocal school. They owned and recognized their talent, for one thing. They picked up a tennis racket. They made that first move of recognizing something. Maybe they just fell into it and it was a hobby. I don't know. But whatever, they were present in that activity. So then, being present in that activity, they invested in themselves. We don't know these names just because they are who they are. They are greats. They are legends. They paid the price to invest dollars in themselves at great expense to themselves, and not once, twice. How many hands can we put up? Probably not nearly enough. They sacrificed greatly so that we would know their names. The money, the time. What can we say? So, stay with me, think with me. We know these names because they invested in themselves and they took on mentors and strategists. They took on people who knew more than they could ever bring to the table at that time. They were people, when I see that list, they are people who maybe lost faith somewhere along the way, but they picked it back up. In the money, out of the money. So what does that have to do with us as podcasters? Plenty. Let me share something with you. I thought about these folks and I thought about a piece of bread. This bread is an idea. It is a notion. It is a activated want. It's something that it just stays on my mind. I want to do it. That's what this piece of bread is. All right. So then there are a couple things that can happen when we think about this piece of bread. One is that it comes in a loaf. Don't have a loaf of bread, but I have a packet of tortillas. It comes in a package. Bread comes in a package, tortillas come in a package. You know, we don't get just one. So your piece of bread, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to let it stay in the wrapper, in the container with all the other pieces? What are you going to do with that idea, that notion, that I want to do it, and you can't get any rest, you can't get any peace because you know that you're supposed to do it. What are you going to do with your piece of bread? Most of us, a lot of us, just let it stay there in the wrapper. Oh, well, because we talk ourselves out of it. It's going to cost too much to even do something with this piece of bread. Even if I take it out, oh, how much is it going to cost me? What am I going to do with it? I don't really know what to do with this piece of bread. This idea, this notion. I'm not rich. I'm not famous. Oh, nobody knows me. Nobody's going to want to listen to me. If you're a podcaster, you get all of those thoughts. Nobody's going to want to listen to me. Nobody's going to subscribe. Nobody's ever going to catch me on the live stream, not even on the replay. You get all of these thoughts. Bread. This piece of bread is your thought, it's your idea. So that's the one thing that can happen to a piece of bread. The second thing that can happen to a piece of bread is that you can look at it. You can even read the label, because the folks that saw the piece of bread in the bag, yeah, they picked it up and they read the label and they asked questions and, they flipped it over and read it again. And if they're at Costco during a demo, they're asking 50 billion questions and they're asking for other literature and they're flipping the bag over. You see, it's rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And then we walk off and we do nothing about the piece of bread. Let me share a quick story with you real quick. I'd gone to Hollywood to learn how to podcast, how to do terrestrial radio, and I was doing terrestrial radio at an AM station here in Los Angeles. And it was on my mind, I had the active want to get into podcasting, to get into that digital space. So I went over to Live 365. This was way back in the day. Oh my God, this was years and years and years and years and years ago. I went to Live 365 and those customer service people, they must have been just totally tired of me. I asked every question I could ask. I went through their FAQs. I listened to shows. I would think about being a podcaster and doing it on Live 365, that huge mothership, I called it at that time. Oh my God, can I really go ahead and program a show 24 hours? Am I that strong of a programmer? I had all of these thoughts. And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, I'm still with the bread here. I thought about my piece of bread on Live 365. I thought about it. I read. I flipped it over. I read. I asked questions. I did that for 3 months. And I'm going to tell you in this story with one thing that happened to me. I was definitely still working at that time, and we were coming up on 4th of July weekend. And I remember distinctly hearing in my heart and in my mind, if you're not going to do anything with Live 365, if you're not going to do anything digital, stop talking about it. I heard it so clear and distinctly until, everybody's glad to have that weekend, that 3-day weekend. Honey, I spent my 3-day weekend on Live 365. I built out my station because my piece of bread, my bread was not going to be a active want any longer. I had to try. I had to invest. I had to do everything that I could do to get my podcast up and running. And I took 3 days off, and I did that 4th of July weekend. I will never forget it. So that takes me to that leads me right on into the second piece of bread. First piece of bread just stays in the wrapper. People are flipping the wrapper over, reading the ingredients, act like they're interested, asking a billion questions, and the bread is still in the wrapper, But then another thing that can happen with that piece of bread is that you take it out of the wrapper. Take it out. You hold it. Yeah, you ask questions. You flip over the wrapper. You, as they say, you kick the tires. You see yourself. You ask yourself, why am I doing this? You go headlong in, fully intended. Because guess what? That piece of bread is no longer in the wrapper. It's in your hand. You are owning it. You are holding it. Now you are in position to mature it. You are in position to mold it. You are in position to let it do what it's supposed to do. And you add on all of the things that make this piece of bread be its best piece of bread, and then you rinse and repeat. You take another piece of bread out of the wrapper, and you go through all those other motions until you have your processes in place. And the next thing you know, you're rinsing and you're repeating. You're rinsing and you're repeating. But you have your piece of bread out of the wrapper, and it's making an impact. It is making a difference. Your piece of bread is doing what it's supposed to do. That's exactly what Arthur Ashe, Serena, Roger Federer, Pharaoh Sanders, Carmen Lundy, Dave Cos, go down, find your favorite folks. That's exactly what they did. Solution number 2, take that piece of bread out of the wrapper, hold it, own it, make it do what it's supposed to do for you. So that just that simple. So when you look at your piece of bread, you think about your piece of bread. What is that activated want? I want to do it. I'm looking, I'm asking questions. I had an activated want. I just told you the story, but I went with solution number 2. I quit reading the label. I invested in myself. I invested in that want, and the rest is history. And I was on Live 365 when it first came out, the very first time, until it went down and it ceased to exist. And I understand that it's back again, and I'll always have a warm place in my heart for Live 365, because that's where I really got my podcast chops. That's where I really caught the bug. That's where I was so competitive. That's where I fell in love, and it was proof of concept that, yeah, you can program a station for 24 hours. You can do that, Margo. And sometimes I forget that. But had I not pulled my piece of bread out of the wrapper, I never would have known that. Never. I never would have realized the strength of an interview, how a powerful interviewer I can be. I never would have realized that. I never would have got hungry, as they say, to keep going in this podcasting space. And when that fateful day happened on my last place of employment, and before that led me to quit, had I not gone with Live 365 to get started, had I not taken my piece of bread out of the wrapper, I would not have had anything already in the ground to sustain me when I was making my way back to podcasting. So I say all that to say, Arthur Ashe, Serena, Roger Federer, Pharaoh Sanders, Carmen Lundy, Dave Cos, athletes, entertainers, but they are people that we know. They are people that we revere. And oh my God, I fangirled so bad. It was embarrassing when I had a chance to speak with Carmen Lundy. But these are people who took their bread out of the wrapper and they worked it. They spared no expense, I'm sure. When you speak with them, they did what they had to do financially and with their time. And I think Dave Cos has a song out, Still Got It, or something like that. Is a really cool tune. I think that's the name of it. Still Got It. I'm gonna have to listen after I finish this. Episode. But do what you need to do. If you are still on the fence about podcasting, come on. What are you waiting for? I'm starting a 2-hour class, 2-hour intensive workshop, October the 2nd. Come on. I have a workbook that I will forward to you. You do the work in the workbook, and then we will get busy. Someone will say, Margo, how are you going to teach people how to get a podcast up and running in 2 hours? Watch me. Come. I'm not saying that you're going to walk away and you're going to be able to go ahead and drop everything on Apple and boop, boop, you're ready to go. But I guarantee you're going to have your pieces. And after that workshop, you're going to be able to put your pieces together and build out your podcast. Because the know-how is everything, wouldn't you say? You can Google, but if somebody strategically takes you to those main places so that you can get going, that takes away all of the excuses. You have no excuses. All right. And entrepreneurship, you really want to be an entrepreneur? I know of a couple of people who can really, really, really get you going. I mean, a mastermind that is just amazing, amazing. It's a safe space where you can get started. And I know of an academy, they work one-on-one with you if that works better for you. And I've worked with both of these entities and I stand by them. So I myself am able to take away all of your excuses. All right. Next week, I tell you, I am bringing on some folks who are going to continue to take away your excuses. On Tuesday, we're going to start up this celebration. And at 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific Standard Time right here and on Facebook, we are going to have a conversation with women who are podcasters. And some of us are over 40. We do not let that stop us at all. Did I say unstoppable? This whole series is about being unstoppable. So on Tuesday, listen up. You are going to have a conversation, a panel discussion of powerful podcasters. These are women who are brilliant in their field, brilliant in what they bring. Everybody's different, but they're sharing their story, how they picked up their piece of bread. When they picked that piece of bread up, what did they do with their piece of bread? Hey, we're going to deep dive into it. And because we are women in this podcasting industry, sometimes we are surprised by what goes on behind closed doors on that backstage. They're going to share some things that they found out, and it came to light to them just because they are female. All right, I'm just going to leave it at that. Then on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, oh my God, Podcasting While Black. Yes, I'm bringing it. Podcasting While Black. On Wednesday, we are going to bring on two speakers. And I love Nagalia Desravines. I saw her build her company. And we are going to kick this thing off, Podcasting While Black. We're going to take a look at podcasting, the business from a Black perspective. So as I said, Nagalia Desravines from Romel will be here. And we're going to bring on Brother Bedford. This man is the reason why I got my confidence back to come back into podcasting, and I'm still here, and I'm freer than I've ever been. So what can I say? Brother Bedford, you did the thing. But he has been an entrepreneur for over 25 years. So of course he's going to come on and also speak with us about podcasting is a business, and we're going to hear it from a Black perspective. Then on Thursday, it just gets, as some kids might say, it just gets gooder and gooder. On Thursday, we are bringing on, oh my goodness, I just can't even say it. I got to go ahead and say it. Dr. Barrett Matthews. Oh, you talking about somebody who knows media. Dr. Matthews is coming on. He's going to tell us all about, we're going to talk about media. We're going to talk about marketing. We're going to talk about adding a podcast to your business. You are an entrepreneur. Honey, listen, you need a podcast. Okay, so we're going to break that on down. Dr. Matthews is coming with media and marketing from a African American, a Black point of view. And we are going to have Deb Thorne, the information diva. She is actually adding on podcasting to her business, adding it on to her huge event. What does that look like? How scary is that? How does she do that? Deb is coming and she's going to bring all of that information. So I'm giddy. I'm just like a little kid. This treasure chest of information that I can't celebrate podcasting without celebrating women and celebrating the African American podcaster. I can't do it. And I'm so excited. On the 30th, which is the official day of International Podcast Day, I'm going to do the replay of Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. All right. And I'll also have a YouTube link so you can go and binge listen. You know how we binged Bridgerton and all the rest of them? Oh my God, let's get started on that. But let me tell you, the information and the insight that these folks are going to bring, you do not want to miss it. I always tell people to bring a piece of paper and pencil, but then I kind of backed away from that. I'm thinking, be in the moment. Be in the moment, watch them, listen to them, just feel them. Let your energy align with theirs because they are coming smoking red hot. And they're not speaking out of theory. These folks are doing it, have done it, and continue to do it, okay? So we're getting, as they say, Rhema word. We are getting right off the presses. So I want you to go ahead and walk with me, think with me. We getting some yeses from Facebook. Oh my goodness. I'm over 50 and yeah, honey, ain't nothing wrong with being over 50. It is a lovely time. Don't you ever think that 50 is 40, 35 on up. You may as well go and see Jesus. I ain't even believing that. If I can do what I did and start out, become a professional podcaster at age 61, what say what? That's why I can bring these folks to you because I started in 2017 and was able to go ahead and bring on some build relationships. I have a relationship with the folks at Wilmell. I have a relationship with Brother Bedford. Deb, I have a relationship. And hey, Dr. Matthews, he ain't hardly getting rid of me. Ain't no way, So I'm all excited, but for a good reason. And I thank everybody for their comments. Joni, Joan Reed and her aunt, they were on one of my early shows. As a matter of fact, their story is in my book. What is the name of the book? Oh my, I got a brain freeze. I'm so on next week until it's cuckoo crazy. Her business, her voice, her reinvention. The name of my book is over on Amazon. It's over on my website. So I am overjoyed. I really, really am. So what can I say? I'm going to go ahead and do a quick clip because there's some people that believe in me, and for that, I really appreciate them. They believe in what I'm doing, and they are sponsors for this upcoming event, and I really thank them. So I'm going to turn the music off. I'm finished with Arthur Ashe and Serena. I'm finished with my expose on what I think about being a piece of bread in the wrapper, or you can grab your piece of bread, take it out of the wrapper. Joan Reed, she took her piece of bread out of the wrapper, and her aunt, I tell you, they don't do it right now, but they made some fabulous, fabulous handbags. Every time I carry one, somebody's trying to take it off of me. So that's the power of being over 50 and taking your piece of bread out of the wrapper. I have other stories for you, but right now, before I close out, I want you to know that I'm going to show you do a reel on some of the sponsors, some of the people that you're going to see this reel over and over and over again because they are sponsoring up the event that begins on Tuesday. And if you want to hang out with me for 4 minutes at 3:30, I am going to bring on 4 minutes of relaxation because during this process of getting ready for this event, I really fell in love with Canva and I got pretty good at it. I found that I have I'm pretty good at Canva. So if you want to stick with me right here on LinkedIn and on Facebook after I share the sponsors video, then at 3:30, the 4-minute relaxation video is going to come on. Okay. Enough said. Let me share this information. Who are my sponsors? I sure love you. And I'll see everybody on Tuesday. Hang on.